Welcome back to Jules FM and part two of an incredible interview with the amazing legend of voiceovers, Abbe Holmes. 52 years in the industry and still going strong. This episode, Abby shares with us her memorable moments in this journey of hers and also some fantastic advice on creating characters for animations. And we pick up here with Abby as she talks about ways to practice voices.
And there's other ways that you practice voices. When you were talking about animation,
Yes.
it's a thing that I was talking about before about placing the voice in your body. Animation, that's really important. If you want to work in animation, it's great if you're a versatile voice actor, because you'll get more roles in the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll
of course,
make more money. And but when you're doing it, it is really about, you can create a funny voice, but unless that voice matches the visual of the character, it's not going to work. And when you look at the graphic or the picture of the character or whatever you're sent, there are so many ways to get clues about how they sound. Do they have a big fat round face? Have they got a chin? Or are they a little skinny person? Have they got a small mouth? Have they got big eyes? You know what I mean? You get that sort of, you can draw a lot of character stuff from the image. Then you have to play that character, and this is the performance stuff. You're absolutely jumping into somebody else's shoes and performing from that knowledge, that deep knowledge.
They must get quite physical. I know for myself, doing any readings, I tend to have body language going and movement. So I imagine once you get into animated characters, it's huge, potentially.
It's huge. If you can go onto YouTube and you can just put in animation actors doing animation or voice artists doing animation, and you will get the images, and the Americans put it together so well. So you see the person, male or female, at the microphone in the studio, and of course it is really big, it is huge, and the body is going all over the place, and the face is really, really animated. I do animated face when I do retail because it's so bizarre.
Same.
Smile and open up your mouth really big and all that sort of stuff. But in animation, they will have up on, the left or right hand corner, they will have them voicing the character. So you will see the character that they are now adding the voice to.
Yeah.
But they are working a lot harder to create that character, because it is all voiceover really is slightly heightened performance. Animation is really heightened. But of course, the thing you have to remember is that you keep it in a volume. You don't sort of yell or shout or anything. You certainly don't scream.
No.
Yes, there are vile screams that, I've always said, no, I don't scream. Don't scream, everybody. Don't scream. No. You ruin your voice. Bad.
Absolutely. Tell me, what do you have, like a proudest moment or a role or any sort of voiceover gig that you've done that's been memorable or even just meaningful that, stuck with you?
Yeah, I think the things that people remember, it's like I did in 1979, and I was still working at the music studio then. They made an audiovisual, like a television commercial, for 4711 Ice Cologne. And there was a model in it. I can't remember her name now. She was a blonde model, and her line in the jingle, the sing talk jingle was, it's cold as ice. And then the model did a sort of a giggly sort of thing with her body. So I had to voice a visual, get the lip sync right, and it goes like this: it's cold as ice. Ooh.
I think I remember that.
Oh, you do?
That's fantastic.
See? So people remember that. Yeah, I know. Wow. And you can still see it. You can still go to YouTube and go 4711 Ice Cologne 1979, and you'll get it. It's cold as ice. Ooh. And the other one was in the 80s. I was the Libby character to the Norm in the Life Be In It series. There were several Libbies, and I did a couple of things. But gee, it was wonderful to see it, because at the time I loved I mean, there's a lot of shit advertising around.
Mm.
That was important advertising. I would always
Yeah.
champion important advertising. And I
It was very
think
catchy too. I remember it. The
it was
tunes were,
very catchy.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can even hear myself singing in the jingle. I can remember being down in the music studios, being part of the chorus that sang in the jingle. So when you look at that, Life Be In It, Libby,
That's
with
awesome.
Norm, you'll get all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Eat
Wow.
more fish or cereal, eat more fruit and vegetables. It goes like that.
Yeah. That's
The other one,
awesome. Yeah.
and the thing that, you know, I have loved being the Spotlight brand voice for 31 years.
Oh,
That's
really?
a really long gig, and
That
it's,
is.
yeah, and I get to this stage of my career and I go, wow, what a gift that is, and also I love my Chemist Warehouse jobs as well.
Ah,
Um,
cool.
and they're wonderful things that come regularly. I mean, retail is like the gift at this end of my career that just
Yeah.
keeps giving, 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 giving. So, yeah, but I've had lots
Oh,
of
that's
wonderful
fantastic.
gigs. I loved working in animation in the 80s when it was just we were first doing it, and there was so much wonderful work around for a very small group of people. Look, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth, I have always been so blessed that at any stage of my career, I come into it and there's only a small group of people who could do that or who are doing that.
Mm.
Now I get to this end and there's so many people out there doing
Mm.
animation, so many people out there with wonderful voices and performance skills doing voiceover. And I think, well, wow, if I was starting out today,
Mm.
I'd want to be bloody good at it.
Oh, well, how
You,
that leads me to a great question then. How would you separate yourself? What advice would you give to someone like myself, possibly,
yeah,
about separating or standing out in this very competitive industry?
Yeah, I reckon really listen to other people who are doing it.
Yep.
Go onto the voiceover agents' websites. You can just find it by Googling
Yeah,
voiceover agents
that's fine.
Australia.
Yep.
And the ones who have they have a database and they have a search engine. And so put yourself into that search engine. It'll be, male or female, age group,
Yes.
kind of reads, all that sort of thing, and
Hmm.
listen to what other people are doing, because they're the ones who are the premium voiceover artists. So what you're heading towards is that kind of quality.
Mm.
So really listen to what they're doing. I mean, in a sense, don't listen as a punter, like, oh, that's entertaining.
Mm.
Listen as somebody who is wanting to mimic this,
Yep. Okay.
and then put your own spin on it.
Yeah,
You,
right.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, when I was learning, I get into the 80s, and I've had this really young voice, right? And I'm now sort of in my 30s, and I need to change it up to get more work. So I started to listen to, and then the male-held kind of corporate read,
Mm.
very advertising starts to realize that it's actually women who spend all the money and make all the decisions in the
Mm.
home. Research told them that in the 80s. So women are doing bank ads, women are doing, more kind of corporate ads. And I wanted to do that too, but the women who were getting that work sounded older than me. So
Mm.
I needed to age up my voice. So I learned how to do that by listening
Yeah,
to other
right.
people.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, when I started, the studio gave me a go. Let's get Ab to try it. These days you won't get a go. It's too expensive. They just want people
Yeah,
who can do it.
absolutely.
So you need to know what you're doing before you get booked for a job, because if you don't know what you're doing, you might not get booked for another one. So
Yes.
you really need to understand who you are and how to do it and how to work in that collaborative way and
Yeah.
not freak out. I mean, the whole thing about managing rejection or self-doubt, which
Yeah.
is one of the questions that you
Yeah.
asked me, is a really, really interesting thing, and my advice for managing rejection or self-doubt in this field is manage it.
Mm.
There's no other magical way. You've got
Mm.
to talk to your self-doubter. You've got to talk to your critic. You let them know that you do not want them in the session with you. They're
Mm.
not helpful. I mean, yeah, I've seen people unravel in sessions when they've thought, oh God, I'm really shit at this. I knew I'd fail. And I've watched them unravel. Whereas really, it's important to know that this is a recorded,
Mm.
creative collaborative
Yep.
process. When it's great, they've got it. When it's not, they'll discard it. And often, you'll read a script and you might read it 8 times. What you might not know is that they've actually marked the script out there to say, that take was great in that line. Oh, I love this little bit here. Just the end of that was perfect.
Cut and paste it. Yep.
And paste it. And then what you thought was really shit I've walked out of some studios in my much younger career thinking, no, I don't think I nailed it. I didn't nail it. And then I've heard it. And then I thought, oh, actually, that sounds okay. That sounds quite good.
They worked some magic in there and put it together. And
that's right.
Look, I remember my first stint at voiceovers absolutely just unraveled and it wasn't even what happened in studio. It was something that happened with a chat in the producer outside that for some reason I got all this self-doubt, and then I got in the studio. I don't even remember the ad I did, but I know it wasn't good because I was so in my head, and then that was it. And I don't think I ever got any work, and I think I packed it all in then. And so now I love that advice because I'm very aware that those doubts exist, I think probably in all of us, but it's about where do we put that? Let's move, feel the fear and move anyway.
Yeah, I will still get those things. I will go, there will be a job that I'll get and I'll think, oh, I'll get the script before, which is unusual, but it was a corporate job. And I thought, oh, I don't know what to do with this. I have no idea. I hope they know what to do with this. So I get in there and they have no idea what they want. And yet it could be so many different things. So I start doing it and it's no, that's not what we want. No, I say, well, how about this? No, I don't think that's quite. And it went on. And I started to go a little weak in the knees thinking, little sweat break out. And I think, what's wrong with me today? I can't find it, So I started, and I thought, Abby, look what you're doing to yourself. Just take a deep breath. Just say, well, let's start again with, perhaps we'll try this, And in a way, I suppose I'm more confident now to take over the session and the production. How about especially realizing they don't know what they want? Hoping you're going to find it. Well, that can be challenging. You wouldn't get that. You wouldn't get that early in your career. You would get all the advertising agency people who say, let's get somebody fresh and new. Let's not get that person or this person. Or don't get Abbe Holmes. She's old. She's old.
Everyone knows her voice has been around forever.
Yeah, that's right.
But you have so many voices, so.
Well, so many voices, that's right. And you probably, when you listen to my work, you don't hear this voice.
No,
you know what
that's
I mean?
Exactly right. You don't. Yeah. So, and I'm sure you've done so much more work than I would even be aware of. And yet I'm familiar with your voice, but because you're so versatile. So that's, massive credit to you, obviously.
Oh, thanks, love.
Not at all. So, look, my final question, I guess, is me heading into animation. You've kind of already touched on this anyway. Yeah. What is your number one advice or piece of advice for me? What should I focus on at this point? I've got a great demo. Thank you very much for your help as well for my commercial reads.
Yeah, beautiful.
But now I need to work on my animation and my animated reads. So what do you suggest from here?
I think animation, especially if you're auditioning for animation, right? Most important, you'll get something sent to you in the audition. This is the first place that will take you. This is the first thing that will take you places. Yep. Look, really what you have to do is break the script into different thoughts and ideas and really play those different thoughts and ideas completely differently emotionally. Okay. So it may be, so I don't have a script in front of me, but it may be something like, if we get the car tomorrow and then take it down to the beach, then we can have a picnic. And if you read it, if we get the car tomorrow, then take it down to the beach, then we can, if we get the car tomorrow and take it down to the beach, then we can have a picnic. No, if we get the car tomorrow, then take it down to the beach, then we can have a picnic. So what you're getting there with that voice is more for the animators to animate. They will animate a change in the facial expression, a change in the body language, or what the character's doing. You must always be thinking when you're auditioning for animation that what they want to see by your read is the character animate. The character has to be moving, and it can't just, otherwise it can't just be a read. So then it's about looking at how to break down the lines. It's once again, that's the thing that I coach people in doing, how to look at the script and break it down into different thoughts and ideas. And, in animation, it's much bigger than in normal commercial work, or except if you're doing a character voice in a commercial that you're telling us, because you're telling a story.
Yep.
And you have to pull the audience along with you and the story.
And I guess you don't have visuals, essentially. The visuals are what they can create through animation. So it's that really relying on what comes through the sound and the tone and the quality of your voice, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pardon me,
And of
sorry.
course, there are so many different ways you can say a line or say a phrase. So many different ways. So you have to know, really, and sometimes you don't know fully when you get the little piece of audition material. Often what they will do is that they'll take out little sections of a script that are unrelated. You won't get other people's dialogue. You won't even know where they've come from. But what they'll be giving you are, say, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different emotional states or at different stages of the drama.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be something like, okay, everybody get down and hide. So you will have to do it like that.
Yeah, perfect. And that's that physicality again, isn't it? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Abby, you run your business is voiceover coach, and I've worked with you, so I know how amazing you are at hearing these nuances and helping guide through that. But would you suggest that it's not just for voiceover artists who could get benefit from working with you, or is it very specific? Because I know that, voice is obviously, it's how we communicate in the world, isn't it? So I'm wondering if there's any room for that.
Yeah. I mean, people who present, I've worked with a lot of people who present whatever, are often from a script when they're presenting from a script.
Yep.
I mean, I listened to the something on air yesterday, and the guy was obviously reading his script. It was wonderful, but he was terrible. And so things didn't mean, the things that he wanted to mean something didn't mean enough. So I've helped a lot of people who've done that kind of work in really understanding that they are not just reading their script, they are talking to an audience.
Yeah.
They are reading through the words to an audience. So it's the same skill of engaging the audience, keeping people connected to the meaning and what you're talking about, and taking your time. If it's a piece of information or it's a statistic or a fact, give them time for their brain to compute what you just said before you go on to the next thing. All those kinds of things are important for people who present, and a lot of people are good. Some people can get up there and just do it off the cuff. I mean, when you watch somebody presenting from the stage without it, obviously just going from the fact that they are, this is their wheelhouse, as the modern word is. This is what they do, and they just do it off the cuff. It took me ages to be able to talk about voiceover like that, but I can now. And some people are really good, and they're often more charismatic than somebody standing up looking at an iPad and just kind of reading it and not engaging with the audience. So I think that's one of the things that I work with.
That's awesome. Well, Abby, I'm going to share the link to your website, which is Voiceover Coach, in the show notes, because honestly, I think it is something that could be so useful for so many people, obviously presenting, but voiceovers, all of that sort of stuff. And I'm so grateful for your advice once again, and hearing your wisdom and your experiences. Like, you honestly, I can understand why you are called a veteran or the legend of this industry, because you're amazing. So,
well, as long as people keep saying that, I'll keep being it, apparently.
Absolutely. Live up to those expectations.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much for joining us today. It's just been an absolute pleasure. And look, who knows? Maybe we'll have you back on for a little workship at some stage.
Well, that'd be nice. And wouldn't it be lovely to work together one day?
Oh, I would love
that'd be wonderful.
That.
We just don't do it. Yes. Just don't do it enough. That was an 80s thing. And the 90s, I guess we did work together. But these days it's about money, and mostly you're on your own.
Yeah.
Anyway,
absolutely.
So good to talk to you.
And thank you.
Loved it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll hopefully speak again soon.
Great. See you, Jules.
Take care. Bye. I hope you got as much out of that interview with Abby as I did. I have definitely got a to-do list now and some things I can action, which I love, because it's a nice, clear way forward. And as always, she just has the most incredible advice. Remember, big dreams don't begin with perfection. They begin with a voice. Don't forget to hit follow on the Jules FM podcast and find me on Jules FM Show on Facebook or Instagram, which is also where you can share with me what your takeaways were from this episode. Until next time, thanks for listening.